What does love mean to you? Is it a word? Is it an emotion? Or is it something more than that? I love this quote from Paulo Coelho, the author of The Alchemist, when he says, "Love is just a word until someone comes along and gives it meaning." I've got a few more quotes for you today that are going to potentially give you a different perspective on love. And maybe you'll conclude, like I have, that love is the most powerful force in the world. And it's certainly something that, as a change maker, can dramatically change the impact that you make. Let's get started. So this is the Change Show with Simon Phillips, and this week's episode, as I said, is all about the power of love. And I want to start with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, "Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend." He said it's the only force capable of doing that. Now, of course, what we typically do when we're faced with an enemy is fight. But wars and fighting lead only to broken spirits. At some point in the process, we have to switch and conclude that the only way that this enemy of ours is going to become a friend is through love. Now, of course, Martin Luther King's message was all about equality. It was all about loving each other in the communities that we live. And the legacy that he left behind from his amazing speeches was one of a vision for change, a vision of a loving future. And I think that message inspired all of the generations that have come since. But whilst we're on the subject of quotes about love, I thought I'd throw this one in from the King. Elvis said, "I can't help falling in love with you." And I wanted to include that one because he uses the phrase, "I can't help." When we love someone, it's not something that we've thought through on every single level of detail. It's something that stirs us. It's something that we can't always control and conceive where it even came from sometimes. But it doesn't just have to be an emotional response. We can take love deeper and give it meaning. Because the second real quote I want to share with you is from Nelson Mandela. He said, "If people can be taught to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite." He's also saying that we can't help ourselves but to love others. It is our natural instinct. Think about it. When Nelson Mandela emerged from Robben Island, he could have been consumed by hate and anger for the people that had incarcerated him for so long. But instead, he chose a different path. He chose love. And I wonder whether he was heeding the words of MLK before him. But just look what that love achieved. It ended 46 years of the apartheid regime in South Africa. It also created an environment in which all parts of society could thrive. And it left a legacy of hope. It left a legacy of indomitable spirit. That wasn't very easy to say. And finally, it left a legacy of change leadership. He showed us how to take a vision and bring it to life. And that legacy lives on in so many people today. So let's have a think about how we can make love part of our A game. How do we make love a centerpiece for the way that we want to make change happen and help others in life? As usual, it all starts with us. Self-love is not selfish. You cannot truly love another until you know how to love yourself. Just think about that. Who do we beat up on most in life? It's ourselves, isn't it? Through our self-talk. I'm not good enough. I didn't deserve that. I don't know how to do this. Therefore, maybe I'm useless. We're truly creative when it comes to finding ways to beat ourselves up. And what we need to do is start loving ourselves more, forgiving ourselves for the things that we've done maybe out of haste, bigging ourselves up when we've done something really good, and truly loving ourselves for the human being that we are. Only when we do that in a selfless way, in a way that's short on judgment and high on praise, that we truly understand what it takes to love someone. And from that point, we're able to spread that love across the world. And from there, we can take that love out and we can particularly focus it on the next generation. Maybe our own children, maybe the children in our families and our communities. It doesn't really matter. It's the next generation that we need to seek to influence. Which brings me to the next quote. Barack Obama said, "Above all, children need our unconditional love. Whether they succeed or make mistakes, when life is easy and when life is tough. Our job is to teach children to love themselves, to fall in love with their quirks, to fall in love with the things that they do that they maybe think make them different from everybody else. And not to hide that, but to love it and nurture it. Once they love themselves, they too will be able to go out and love others and create loving communities. It's that wave of love that we're trying to create. We're aiming to create a tsunami of love across the world. And I know, I can hear myself that sounds idealistic, but look at what's been achieved with love. Nothing would have changed in South Africa without Mandela's love. Nothing would have changed in America without the likes of Martin Luther King and their love for all human beings. And nothing's going to change in your life until you seek to love yourself. So before we finish, and just in case you think I've taken some love pills or something this morning, I've got a funny one for you. It's not my fault I love you. You started it. It's not attributed to anyone, but I'm wondering whether it's from the scriptwriters of Fawlty Towers. You started it. Anyway, that's what love is all about. It's about having fun. It's about just being who you are and engaging with the people around you and sharing your love. So my task for you this week is to go out and give love meaning. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Let me know how you get on with some of these concepts this week, and I'll be back next time. Take care.